Okie dokie, artichokes. Let's get this figured out. Hello, and welcome today. Hey everybody, and welcome to the OklaRoots YouTube channel. In today's video, not a tutorial, we're gonna sit here and play with my industrial machines. So it's the first Monday of November when you are watching this, and I sometimes do a live stream, and sometimes I do just kind of like a hangout, just a hangout, and that's what I'm gonna do today. We're gonna do a hangout. I very rarely play with this sewing machine, so this is a Juki 1541S. It is a powerhouse sewing machine. It's made for sewing very thick materials. It is a big baby. This is not something that you are going to really be taking with you anywhere. It's going to have a place in your house and it's never going to move. It comes on a table and everything. But it's a machine that is very intimidating to me because it is so powerful. It is industrial, which means it's not really like computerized. There's no fancy stitches. It's very like it has one job, and that's to sew thick stuff. And so I'm going to work on a project today. So this is not a tutorial. I'm going to be working on a Mila monster. I have a video over on my Instagram where I was showing making this panel right here. Let me see if I can show. So I was showing making this panel right here. It does say loser. It goes with a country song by Jelly Roll that whenever I first listened to it, it was very meaningful to me, and maybe we'll talk about that some more today in the video. Like I said, it's not a tutorial. We're just gonna kind of play around and play with my machine. I got my other camera over here set up so maybe you can get another angle. I know a lot of people are interested in machines like this, even if you're not planning on purchasing one. I've seen a lot of people say, like, I just want to see how it works. I just want to watch. I just want to watch you work on it. So that's what we're going to do today. I will tell you that I did purchase this machine from Juki Junkies. They are in Tampa, Florida, but they will ship these machines anywhere. And I would say that if you're going to buy a machine like this, you definitely reach out to them. Gigi, the owner, she's absolutely amazing. She will talk to you. She will walk you through everything. If you're not sure if this is the right machine or maybe a semi-industrial, give them a call. I cannot recommend them enough. I have talked to them when I've been very happy. I have talked to them when I've been very angry, very sad, very frustrated, but then also like really excited. You know, so they are very, very good at customer support. So highly recommend. If you're interested in any kind of sewing machine, you give them a call. So before we get started, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy your time here. We're going to do lots of different types of videos going into 2025. We do mostly bag making videos. I am hoping to do more industrial videos and working with more thicker materials like leather, things like that. I'm also hoping to start doing some more quilting videos, some embroidery videos, lots of just different, you know, textile crafts, things like that. But this is definitely a machine I want to play with more. I will be honest, there's another industrial machine I want to get, but I kind of feel like I have to earn it because I don't mess with this enough. So before we get started, I have not used this machine in a few weeks, and it's very particular with oil. It has to be very whale oiled. It's a whale of oil. So it's very important that it has lots of oil. So I'm just checking out everything, making sure it all has the oil. So it all looks pretty good from where I can see, but if we start running into a lot of problems, it's probably because it needs some oil. So this is the plan of attack today. I'm working on a Mila monster. Like I said, I've already done the front panel, and this was really, really fun. I did a whole edge coating video over this as well. That was with a private video, so you might not be able to see that. But it was really fun to make. So what I'm gonna do right now is put my glasses on because I'm afraid that if this needle breaks and that goes in your eye, no thank you. I've got all my exterior pieces in foam, and so what I'm gonna do with this bag is this is a very heavily foamed project today. The Mila monster doesn't have to use foam, but I just want to layer it up. And originally I was hoping to also include piping, like a faux leather piping. But I figure, you know what, let's just do one thing at a time. Let's not throw everything into one project when I'm still, even though it's been years since I got my machine, I'm still getting to know it, and that's my own fault. It's because I don't spend nearly enough time working with it. But recently I've started figuring some things out, and I think we're gonna be in better shape. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to baste my foam to all my exterior pieces. So I have my front and back panel. My front panel is already done. I can set that to the side. It's my back panel. And then I also have my gussets. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, we're gonna give this a shot. I got it over here. I'm gonna baste this on. So when I'm basting this on, I'm gonna use like a 6mm stitch length. With these types of machines, you want to make sure you always hold your thread. Something I had to learn the hard way. And we're just gonna go through. Okay. And I'm just going around about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm gonna grab a stiletto to use. This is a very powerful machine. So right now we're working in my office. If you look behind my machine, if you're looking at the camera that's looking at the needle, you might see a lot of cords and stuff. This is also where my son puts his gaming computer, and he likes to make his own YouTube videos as well. So he has a YouTube channel called Random Gamer Newt. I'll put it down there if you're interested. But he works on his own videos, and specifically, actually some tutorials as well, but mostly to do with things like gorilla tags. So if you have a kid that's interested in some of those video games and they're trying to figure out how to do something, Newt likes to make tutorials showing you how to do that, which I think is really cool. But we share this office. And that way it's nice too because we get to hang out together, you know? Like I'll sit here on my machine, he'll sit on his computer right across from me. It's like literally right across from me. And we can see each other. I can peek around and look at him. It's nice. Oh my gosh, you guys. I don't know if you've watched some of my other industrial videos, but I have struggled so much with this machine for some reason. And I don't know what it is, but just like the other day, I just decided, you know what? I'm going to rethread everything. I changed the needle out. I think that's a big thing. I was using... You have to use big needles with this machine, but I was using like a size 22 or 24 needle, and for my projects, which are a lot of vinyl and stuff, I don't think I really needed it. So I switched down to a size 19, which is a thinner needle, and it's been beautiful ever since. So I'm really happy about that. So you can see this is like so easy. I just basted that on, and now I'm going to cut the foam out. When I use foam, there's lots of different ways to sew with foam. Okay, we're just gonna ramble about everything today. If you're gonna use foam, you can use foam with anything. You can use it with quill cotton. You can use it with nylon, vinyl, cork, leather, anything. Foam is really great to use because it's kind of thick, but it's fluffy, so it's not dense. So foam is really great for domestic machines. So you can add a lot of thickness to your project without adding a lot of density and making it difficult to sew on your domestic machine. So foam is also really great if you want to quilt something, and you can do that with leather, faux leather, cork, vinyl, nylon, all the materials. You can quilt it, but just remember if you're going to quilt anything, even if it is nylon, when you quilt something, it shrinks. So my suggestion is always, like if you were making a quilted Mila monster, you would get a bigger piece of material than what you see right here, quilt it really well, and then use the template to cut out the actual panel, and then that's your finished panel. Okay, so now I've got my 2 zipper gussets, and I've got my bottom gusset, and I'm just gonna repeat that with these gussets as well. So why a loser bag? Why a loser bag? I'll tell you what, I've been on a country music kick recently, and the musician Jelly Roll has really spoken to me. I really like his music. Most people seem to really, really like his music. But I especially like his, how he advocates for juveniles, specifically students or children who are in juvenile detention facilities. I'll tell you the story one day, but I did spend time in juvenile hall when I was younger, and from my experience as a child in that position, and from my experience as a mother now of kids who are about to be teenagers, juvenile hall is not full of bad kids. They're good kids who got themselves in a bad position. They made a bad choice. They're from a bad home, or they're in a bad position. I don't really believe in bad kids. Maybe I don't think that's controversial, but maybe somebody thinks it is. But I don't think there's such thing as a bad kid. kind of hard to be a bad kid. You haven't been around long enough to be bad yet. So I was really, that's something that, like, I heard his music and I thought it was great. And then I saw how he works with students in juvenile detention facilities, again, because of his own experience with it. And it just, like, really spoke to me. And when I heard his new album, and specifically when I heard the song Loser, I don't know, it just, like, it hit me because I grew up feeling like a loser a lot, honestly. I felt out of place a lot. I was an only child. I still am an only child. But my parents were both in the military and they worked all the time and they had to. That was the life we had to have, you know. And they did everything they could, but I was a very lonely, shy person. And that led me to make some not great choices. And so there was something about the song that just really spoke to me. And I was like, I want to make a bag to go with this feeling. I don't know, everybody sews for different reasons, but a lot of times my sewing, the things I make, the reason I sew at all, has a lot of emotion behind it, a lot of big feelings to go with it. And so I figured, you know what, this is for me, so might as well make it however I want. I mean, it says Loser on it, but that's because that song spoke to me so much and I felt like a loser for so long, and maybe that's, like, not such a bad thing, you know what I mean? So you can see with my foam, I cut it quite a bit bigger than the panels. That's pure laziness. Pure laziness. You can cut your foam cuts so that they're the same size as your panels. You can cut them so that they're smaller than your panels, and that way they're not in the seam in the end. If you do that, I would just suggest you quilt them on instead of basting along the edges, because they won't reach the edges. But for me, I had a lot of really big cuts of foam that were like scraps, and so I just cut bigger pieces, and I'm just plopping down my material on top of it. Yeah, this is all working so nicely right now. I'm just gonna set this to the side. I gotta get a better setup in here. This is all very, very cramped. I'll figure out, if you notice I have these really long sleeves, I don't know why. I will be shocked if I don't accidentally sew my sleeve into the bag at some point, because that's something I would do. So I guess we have some time. Do you guys want to hear? Do you want to hear the story about how I ended up in juvenile hall? It's nothing too exciting, but when it was the summer between 8th grade and high school. So maybe I was 14 or so. I was living in South Dakota. And in South Dakota, I think at the time you could get your driver's license at 15. And so you got your driver's permit at 14. And so we had a group of friends. We lived in like military housing in South Dakota. And we had a group of friends who had one friend, he just got his driver's license. And a lot of us would like sneak out at night. So we all lived in the same neighborhood together, and our houses were like, the first floor was partially underground, and you had like a middle bit and then a top floor. So the first floor was where my room was, and so the window, if you jumped out the window, you were at ground level. So we would all just sneak out of our rooms in the middle of the night and kind of just go wander around the neighborhood. Well, anyways, our friend who had his driver's license, him and another boy were saying, they're both who were my friends, and even after all this, I mean, we weren't friends anymore after this, but they were still my friends. Like, I don't have any hard feelings towards them, but they were saying how they had a friend in the neighborhood who left his keys in the car and at night, and since that was their friend, he said, yeah, if you guys want to like go drive it around the Black Hills, go for it, you know, it's no big deal. I'll leave my keys in the car, you guys go have fun. You know, now as a parent, it all sounds very suspicious. But at the time, as a 14-year-old, it didn't sound all that crazy. I mean, why would you leave your keys in the car? Don't leave your keys in the car. If you do that, don't do that. So anyways, a bunch of us were supposed to go out that night and go ride around in this car. And most everybody backed out except for me and my friend. And then his friend who just got his driver's license. And so the three of us go. And we go to this car, and the keys are right there, like sitting on the passenger seat, and the doors are unlocked. And so it all seems like they said it was going to be. And so we get in the car, we drive off, and we go drive around throughout the night. It's like midnight, you know, it's the middle of the night. We did sneak out of our houses and stuff. So anyways, we drive around, we come back. And literally, we just drive around. Like, it's like kids are so dumb, but we just drove around. That's all we did. And it seemed fun. So anyways, we come back and we pull into the parking spot. And I started noticing something didn't seem right when we were pulling back into the parking spot where the car was, because my friends, they like turned the lights off and put the car into neutral and then like coasted it in. And I was like, why wouldn't you just like drive it and park it? Do you guys see where the story is going? And so they put it into park, and immediately there are lights everywhere around us. Like, it was like blinding lights everywhere. It's really noisy. I don't know what the heck is going on. I'm in the back seat, and this door opens up, and I'm pulled out of the back seat, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? And this police officer is like, you're under arrest. And he like handcuffs me. He puts me in the back of a police car. I had no idea what was going on. And I just kind of look at my friends, and they're just like, oh no. So I was at a police station for most of the night. Still didn't know really what was going on. It wasn't until after many hours I get pulled into an interrogation room, and my parents are sitting there, and there's a couple police officers, and they were asking me all these questions, and it turns out the car was not their friend's. It was a car that they knew. They didn't know the guy, but they knew that he left the keys in the car at night. And so they decided that that was an opportunity to take the car for a joyride whenever they wanted. And it's not the first time that they did it. It was the first time I was with them when they did it, but it was not the first time they had done that. Man, oh man, and if you ever hear my mom's side of the story, it's terrifying from a parent's perspective, waking up and police officers at your door, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning saying, we have your daughter at the police station. And it's like, no, she's asleep. So after I got interrogated, or after I was answered the questions, I was handcuffed in front of my parents, which that was not a good one. That was very sad. I'll never forget that. My mom was very, very sad. And then I was taken over to juvenile hall. I was taken to juvenile hall. I was only there for most of a day before I was released. And I was released without any charges against me because I didn't know. I was not aware that the car was not their friends. They vouched, the 2 guys that I was with, they vouched for it. I was very confused the whole time. It was, again, but you know what it was? When I was there and I was around the other kids, I was a good kid. I was a really good kid. I made good grades. I normally made good choices. My family was very proud of me. I didn't do anything bad. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't do anything bad. I was a good kid, but I made a bad choice. And I made a bad choice because I was very, very painfully lonely. And that doesn't mean it's okay, but most of the kids, I would say all the kids in juvenile detention facilities are good kids who made bad choices. And that's my story. Okay, so I'm going to try something on this back panel. I'm going to use a metal bag tag, but I'm going to use a little accent piece before I put the tag on. And I've never done this before, so I guess we will figure this out together. So you can see on my side camera over here, what I'm going to do is, what am I gonna do? So what I'm gonna do is I mark the midpoint on the back of my little accent piece here, and I'm gonna use that midpoint and a pen to mark placement for my prongs of my metal bag tag. see where the placement is. Okay, so it's a little off center, so it's going to be the third prong over. Remember, this is not a tutorial, so if you're confused right now, me too, me too. I'm just going to put this on here. I'm going to mark that placement like that. And then I'm going to seam rip these two slits. So I know where they are. We're brainstorming together, guys. So I have those on there. Now, we're going to add some tape to the back of this and then figure out where we want to put it. I think I want it like lower on the back panel. Because my tag is not the feature of this, but I do still want it, obviously, on the bag. And this little rectangle I'm using, this is something I just cut out on my own, but I will tell you that Heartwood and Hide, I know that they're in the process of creating little acrylic templates that you can use to do the same kind of thing, either with a metal bag tag or with your cork or faux leather printed tag from them. So those will be, they did give me a couple of them recently. I just cannot find them. I've searched everywhere. I don't know where I put them, but I can't find them. So this was just something I cut out on my own. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark the midpoint on all four edges of both my front and back panel. Since I gotta do it anyways at some point. Okay, where do I wanna put this? I don't know. Probably more than an inch up. I might do like, I think I'll do like 1.5 inches up. Okay, do I have a 1/2 inch on here? Yeah. I'm gonna do, because we're gonna have like a 3/8 inch seam allowance, which is, will eat up about 1/2 inch of this. So I'm gonna do, what do I want to do? I think I'm gonna do 1.25, and then that will go there. Let me see if you guys can see. So then that will go there, and then that will go there. Yeah, I think that's good. So I'm gonna do 1.25 inch up from the bottom. And I'm going to take the paper off my tape, and I'm just going to use all of my lines. It doesn't matter what I do, it's not gonna be centered. And I'm gonna line this up just like that. Okay, so that little accent is now taped on, and now I'm gonna top stitch this on, and then I'll attach my my other thing. I think I'm gonna go down to like a 5 millimeter stitch length. Just gonna gently put that in there and go around. Is that good? Oh, knock anything off. It's mostly good. So you can always kind of move things around where you want it. There we go. How much you want to bet I run out of bobbin while I'm doing this? I want it to go like a little bit further. So I don't want it to go a full 5 millimeters, but I do want it to go a little bit further. Turn it. Oop, want to go a little further than that. I'm still figuring out. The thing is that I love the idea of using this machine for some like really chunky, heavy-duty top stitching, but because the thread is so thick, that in any inconsistency is noticeable. So really, it's just practice, practice, practice. You got to practice so much to get it the way you want it. Okay, I think I'm gonna do one more stitch. Right there. Okay, and then lift it up. Okay. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to leave the threads long, and I'm going to pull those to the back. So see, this is what I have right now. So this is kind of a fun accent, even if, like, you know, and I'll show you guys this way too. So can you see that? So it's kind of a fun thing, even if you don't have like a bag tag or anything, but you're just like, I just wanted to have a little something right there. You could do that. You could have like a piece of material that you write on with some sort of a fabric marking, you know, like a permanent fabric marker. So you could write like the date or who it's for. So far, so good. We'll see. I feel like I'm about to hit a roadblock. Okay, So I have the slits there that are already in my vinyl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my seam ripper and I'm going to go right in where those slits are. And I'm just going to kind of go through it again. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just going, I don't know if you can see, can you see this? I'm just going through the main panel and the foam, but not anymore through that like sparkly disco vinyl, just so I can get the holes in there so I can easily insert this into there. Can you see that? That looks so cool. You see the front? Oh my gosh, I love that. Heck yeah. Loser, no way. I love it. All right, all right, all right. So let's put this on the back. Put these on there. And also, oh, I should have done glue too. So a lot of times what I've been doing too is on the very back of my metal bag tag, like on the back side of it, I'll put a bunch of glue there. Maybe, I don't know, I'm kind of worried if I do this too many times. Okay, I'm gonna go get some glue and some duct tape. Got myself glue, got myself my duct tape, and I got myself a little treat. Because why not? Oh, we should have a little treat. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Also, I got this fun little thing that I'm gonna use as stiletto. More on that another time. Okay, so I'm gonna take this metal tag out of here, like that. Make sure I don't lose the washer. And then on the back of my metal tag, I'm just gonna add a bunch of glue, if I can. Whoa, too much glue. Okay, so I'm just gonna spread that around. So I'm just gonna add some of this glue to the back of this metal bag tag, because I don't want it to get floppy. So if something snags on this, I don't want the prongs to be the only thing that's holding this in place. Because eventually what's going to happen is those prongs, they're not the thickest metal. They can break and then you can't fix it. There's nothing you can do. So the glue should help. Just make sure when you do this, you only put it in once and then you're done. In there. All right, smush it down in there. Yes. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Oh, I love this. I love it so much. Okay, so now I'm gonna press my, you don't wanna open and close these little prongs too many times, okay? Because the more you do it, the weaker the metal's gonna get and then it's gonna break. You don't wanna do that. So I have this just like thinner duct tape and I'm gonna put it right over the back, and that's just to protect those. Nice, yes, I love it. Oh my gosh, this is so stinking cute. Let me see if you guys can really see. Can you really see that? The light is blocking it. Can you guys see? Let me get my face out of there. Isn't that cool? It is. I am so happy about that. Okay, what now? What next? How do we make this bag? I think right now I'm gonna work on the slip pocket. And I thought I had a sew on. Okay, I do have a little sew on bag tag, but I'm gonna save that for my zipper lining pocket. Okay, so now I have some clear vinyl and some 1-inch wide water resistant canvas binding, and I'm just gonna bind this. And so I'm gonna also use this binding to bind the bag at the end. I would use elastic, but I don't have any black elastic. So I'm just gonna use this binding. But really what I wanna do right now is I just wanna see how the machine does with all these different materials. This is stuff that I'm kind of used to working with on my domestic, but I know all these layers would make my domestic pretty upset. So I just wanna see how it works on here. And so far, like, it's been very, very easy to do this. So let's see how it does with this thinner water resistant canvas. That's always what I get nervous about, is like the thinner materials. That's fine, totally fine. I'm gonna give it a little back stitch here. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Can you see that? Aren't you a beauty? Look at those stitches. We'll look at them in a moment. We'll look at them. I am using black thread on a black bag because you know what? I want this bag to look really good. If I felt stronger in my top stitching, where'd my thing go? Where'd my little pokey thing go? if I felt more confident in my top stitching, oh, what's it? Hey, this thing is metal. I can put it on my, I can stick it to you. Yeah, okay. If I felt more confident in my top stitching, I would be using a pastel variegated thread, but today is not about that. Today's just about practice. Practice, practice, practice. Bam, look at you. Love it. Okay, so now we're gonna work on just the water resistant canvas, and we're gonna do the zipper. And I think I will actually grab my template real quick to help with this. Oh, never mind. I forgot. I have an acrylic template for the Gila Monster, but it's one of the very first versions. I was testing it out. And it doesn't have the placement on it for the zipper pocket. But if you purchased a Gila Monster template from our store, the acrylic templates, there are little holes on there with placement mark for the inside of the zipper window. And it makes it so easy to put that pocket on. But I did not keep one of those for myself. So I've got to do it the old-fashioned way by measuring and marking. And these little zipper accents are my favorite way to put a zipper into a panel. Whether it's lining or exterior, I just find these so easy, and you can be so messy, but it ends up looking so perfect. And that's what I need, because I am not perfect. I need more places to put things. I just need a better setup. No, I just need to do this. That's what I need. That's what I need. I need to just work. Okay, I don't know what you can see on this camera, but again, this is not a tutorial, so it's okay if it's not perfect. I'm gonna attach top edge here. Oh, come on, really? Okay, so I'm gonna put this down, but then I'm also gonna put this little woven tag in there, which is fun to do. I'm just gonna slide it right underneath here. Easy, easy. All right. So now I'm gonna top stitch around the outside of this. It looks mostly straight. I don't know. It's fine. It is what it is. I'm using the same top stinks. Oh yeah. I'm using the same top stitch length that I was using before. Let's see how this goes. So now I'm sewing onto water resistant canvas, which is much more lightweight than the vinyl with the foam. So I can never get it to stop or it won't stop. No. Dang it, see. Some of you guys have told me that there's a way to have the needle stop in the down position, that I needed to like get a needle positioner or something for my machine. But I haven't done that, obviously. But I need to. Because I keep expecting it to just stop in the down position, and then it doesn't, and I move it, and it's fine. Alright, let's pull that out. I left the threads long, as usual, so I can tie them off. And if you're wondering what I'm sticking it to, these machines are metal, and so I have this right here. This is from Shop OklaRoots. It's a needle minder. I think we still have some of these in the shop, or different kinds, but we have these needle minders, and they have a magnet on the back of them, so you can see it just like sticks to the, let me see if I can show you on this side. Can't see over there. You see there? See how it just sticks to that? And then you can put snips, or you can put your little stiletto, whatever you want right there. But you can put it on this side, and then it's nice and easy. You're not worried about dropping it on the floor. Okay, so now we gotta cut out this opening, and we got the tag in there. We're gonna cut this open. Okay, so you see now that's what I have. Isn't that fun? This vinyl is some of my favorite vinyl. I love it. I love it, I love it. Okay, so now we need a zipper. So I'm just gonna grab a zipper pull and a zipper. I'm gonna use like a 4mm stitch length for all this. That's what I think I'm gonna do for my construction. That's a 1/4 inch amount, maybe. if you saw my other videos, you might have noticed that every time I tried to take the material away from the needle when it was threaded still, it like jammed up a lot. And I can never figure out why. So I'm just gonna press this open with my fingers. I don't think I'm gonna top stitch it open. I think I'll be okay. I'm gonna take my other lining panel here. I don't know if you can see, but I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna add it to the other end of the zipper and so on. You know what show we have been watching and we're just about to finish up at time of filming. We've probably finished it up by the time you see this. We've been watching Agatha. The show is so good. I love that show so much. Oh my goodness. I love that show. All the twists and turns. And if you are a fan of WandaVision, do you guys remember when that came out? When that came out, that was wild. Nobody knew what the heck was going on. If you're a fan of WandaVision and you're also watching Agatha, you got to go back and rewatch all of WandaVision. That's what we did that the other day. We had a friend over who we were introducing to WandaVision, so we started watching some of the episodes, and it was like, oh my gosh, so many things that are said, specifically by Agatha, or Agnes at the time, are like, whoa. You had no idea at the moment what those actually meant. It didn't seem like anything important, and now, wow. I don't know how they do this. I don't know how they develop an entire show, an entire season of a show, and then, like, they're building up everything for another different show before it's even been put into production. You know what I mean? Like, how? I mean, that's such crazy storytelling and commitment. I am so impressed by it. And it's like, I'm not, you know, I'm not in like the movie business or anything like that, but I feel like as a creative, trying to plan things out, like, wow, how do they do that? I think I'm going to go back to like a 5mm stitch length maybe. I'm going to sew this on. Oh, losing control right now. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see I'm losing control. I am completely losing control right now. I probably should have like pressed that seam down a little bit better. Should have used tape or top stitched it down. That's okay. Still looks pretty good. Getting all over the place. I use black thread though. Oh my gosh, that black thread's not gonna hide that. I'll show you guys in just a minute. Can you guys see right there where the thread jumps down by like 1/4 of an inch? You know what? It's for me. It doesn't matter. Even if it wasn't, even if I wanted to sell this, it's in the lining. I highly doubt anybody would really notice it. And anybody who would notice that and feel really like unhappy with how that looked in the bag, then I'm probably not the right bag maker for them anyways, because everything I make has some sort of error on it. You know what I'm interested in? If you have to seam rip something like this. So like if I'm working on my domestic machine where my needles are a lot thinner and my thread is thinner, if I mess this up, like I installed it backwards or something and I had to seam rip it, I would feel totally fine seam ripping everything and redoing it without getting new material. But with this one, because the needle's so thick and the holes are so big, I don't know. This is a fun bag to make. I haven't made a Mila Monster in a minute. I've been so busy with so many other things. So if you didn't know, November 2024 at the moment is like the last month that I'm going to be doing tutorials every Monday for bags. For the you know, starting in December, I'm going to limit it to just about 2 bag tutorials a month, like full bag tutorials. They will be on Mondays. but I'm gonna limit it to about 2. Now, if I feel like doing more than that, I will. So there's no, I'm my own boss. But I really need a break, and I really want to do some other things. Like I really want to do some quilting. I want to do some embroidery. I want to do just some other projects. And in order to do those other projects, I need some time. I just don't have enough time to work on any of that stuff by doing these big tutorials every single Monday. So, but we should have more content like this where it's, you know, playing on this industrial machine. So if you like this, if you like this kind of video, please make sure you let me know down below in the comments. And that will help me determine, you know, like I'm gonna film content that I like filming. So at the end of the day, if you're interested in doing something like this, film what you like. Make the types of videos you like. That's what Newton, you know, he tries so hard with his videos, and he's like, how do I get more views? How do I get more subscribers? And it's like, well, you don't make content for them. You make content for you. Make videos you like making. Maybe it's not even videos like that you enjoy watching on your own, but like do work that makes you happy. As long as you like what you're doing, eventually people will follow along. But at the same time, you know, I would like you guys to like what I'm working on too. All right, it's a little wobbly, but it looks pretty good, right? Yeah, I think the vinyl distracts from anything I did wrong. Is it crooked? I mean, it looks crooked because of the checkers, but the checkers aren't cut straight, so it's fine. So the other lining panel is just gonna have the clear pocket on it. So all I have to do is just line it up with the bottom corners and clip it in place. I'm just gonna base this down along the edge at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. The angle's a little different. I had to just change out my SD card on my camera. I'm pulling the hair back, which means it's time to get serious. Time to get serious. Okay, so now we're gonna just, what are we gonna do? Let's work on the zipper, I guess. Yeah, because I'm doing this all from memory, so hopefully I don't screw it up. I mean, it's a very basic construction. I mean, it's a front panel, a back panel, a bottom gusset, a zipper gusset. That's it. It's like the most basic bag construction that's not like a boxed bag. Which is what I like. I like simple and easy. Which is why I married Derek. Oh! I don't know if I'm gonna leave that in or not. He'd like it if I did. My zipper is way longer than it needs to be, but it's not long enough to like keep the little bit that's left over. So I'm just gonna center it on here and clip in place. Do I want to? Yeah, I do. I was trying to decide if I wanted to base this to the exterior and then sew on the lining, or just clip the exterior zipper and lining together and then just sew it all together. I'm gonna base because I make mistakes. It's funny, sometimes I get so used to this little knee lift, which I don't use a knee lift with my Bernina. You can, but I don't. Zippers out of here. And then I'll go back to my Bernina and I'll start putting my knee, move my knee around. It's like driving 2 different cars that like are just handled very differently. Going back and forth gets confusing. I think this bag is gonna look cool. I was gonna just make it a pouch and not a crossbody bag. I still haven't decided. But I'm going to have to decide in the next few minutes, because if I'm going to make it a crossbody, then I need to add hardware to it. And if I'm not, then I don't. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I forgot what I did originally. I think I did a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Yeah, that's 3. That 3 there is a 3/8 inch seam allowance. I don't know if I can do that. That seems very tight. I can't remember what it was in the pattern. Was it 3/8 or was it a 1/4 inch seam allowance for this? We're gonna do 3/8, but it's gonna be tight because we have that foam. That's why. But that's why I'm using this machine for this bag, because I knew that that foam was gonna add a lot of bulk. So I guess we'll see, won't we? It's gonna really see whenever we flip this and top stitch the top. That's where we're gonna have a lot of bulk. I'm excited for it. I want it to look all nice and chunky and pretty. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip this all. Oh no! What a mess. Oh, that is thick. That's very thick. Do you see that? Do you guys see? Get my face out of there. Do you see how thick that is? Woo! Well, I guess we'll see. That is when my machine, my Bernina, would be like, it's been fun. But no thanks. I don't want anything to do with that. Woo-wee! How are you gonna do this? I have my reservations about this. Oof! I don't want to do this. Do it like this, I guess. So I'm using a pretty narrow foot here. I think the real question is going to be, can I keep it straight? Not can it go through the material? Because it seems to be doing good. Don't let me forget after this bag is done to change out the needle. I have a tendency not to change needles until they break, which is not smart. You really should change your needle after every big project. Like if it's a real small project, you can do a few of them on one needle. But like this is a lot. I'm putting it through a lot right now. So it really should be changed. I just can't believe that worked. You guys check this out. Look at that. Look at that. Want to see the back? Yeah, you do. Of course you do. Look at that nonsense. Oh my gosh. And I'll tell you too, like when I'm working on my Bernina, I love my Bernina, but it's not meant for stuff like this. I mean, it could be. Anyways, a lot of times I'll notice when I do something like this, and this vinyl, like it's matte-ish, but it's got a bit of stretch to it. A lot of times when I'm doing that type of top stitching, I'll notice that I have sections where it's the perfect length top stitching, and then some where they're kind of like really close together, and some where they're more spread out, because the needle just kind of gets stuck. Those are all perfect. Holy guacamole. What the heck? What the heck? Okay, so I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. I might just show you the end result. Oh, this battery's about to die, yeah. Let's do this. Let's try it again. I think we did it on this side before, yeah. Did it with the zipper on the right of the foot. things scare me. Okay, so since I have that done, now I'm just gonna go around all the raw edges and top stitch or base stitch, whatever stitch. Just make sure if you do that, you my thread break? I think we're okay. Make sure that your zipper is in the center. Mine is not right now. You guys see this? This cup? I would always get comments on this cup. It broke. We broke the handle. We broke the handle off my favorite cup. So now I'm just using it as a clip cup. So sad. I don't even think you can buy that anymore. That's why it was such a sad day when that broke. I looked online. Couldn't find it anywhere. But that's okay. That's the nice thing about crafting is we have a lot of stuff. So we need storage. So this is also an opportunity when you're basting this lining and the exterior together. You could actually baste it at a 1/4 inch seam allowance because later we'll be sewing at a 3/8 inch seam allowance. And by having that 1/8 of an inch basting, oh no, I'm losing you. Where are you guys going? But by having that 1/8 of an inch basting stitch for your foam, and then this 1/4 inch basting stitch, hello, you could, everything's going all over the place. We're quickly losing control here. You're thinning down your foam. That's what I'm trying to say, is those two different seam allowance basting stitches are thinning down your foam. So it'll be a little bit easier when we're sewing this bag in the next step. Okay, what should we do now? Let's build our zipper tabs. So I'm just going to fold. I'm just going to use water resistant canvas for these. Or these are not zipper tabs. These are D-ring connectors. So I'm just gonna fold them like that and top stitch them down. See how this goes. Alright, it's not bad. Yeah, it doesn't seem to like going around the corner of the water resistant canvas, which is fine. It doesn't have to. Maybe I'll do like a couple rows of top stitching. Oh my gosh, she doesn't like it at all. What is wrong with you? Alright, I'm not gonna do that. Oh, it's my bobbin. My bobbin's being weird. See, this is why I don't mess with things. Because, yeah, this bobbin's about out anyways. And I think I put it in wrong. Shocking. I think I'll use this sparkly vinyl instead, too. Instead of these things. I think I'm going to use the sparkly vinyl. Okay. Let's wind this bobbin. Oh, I already have it all here. Nice. So all I have to do is put it... You guys want to watch? Come here. Okay, so you can see I already have it. I have it already. It's all done. See that? It's all there. So now I'm just gonna, yes, you guys can just watch it go round and round and round. Okay, I think I know what I did. I had it going under here. I wonder how many of you were yelling at me going, why is it going under there? Don't have it going under there. Okay, let's try it now. Yeah, it's better. And I have my speed for my needle set to like the slowest setting, so it takes a little bit longer to wind the bobbin. But I don't feel like crawling underneath my machine and changing the setting and then trying to change it back. Alright, so I've got some of my little sparkly vinyl and I cut them 3 inches by 3 inches because the hardware I'm going to use is 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to fold the edges back and just leave it like that. This is a good way to reduce bulk, so instead of like double folding it, so double folding it would be when we fold them both back like this, like that, so they meet. You see how they meet? And then you fold it again like that, and you have a really thick piece there. That's great, but it does create a lot of bulk in like a small space. So if you can get away with just folding them back to meet the midpoint line and then just top stitching it a few times, it makes it a thinner D-ring connector. You could add, I'm not going to, but you could add like some Decoville Light along the center of this as well. And that would reinforce it if you're worried that maybe it's not thick enough and not strong enough if it's just folded in once. But I think I'll be okay. So I'm gonna use tape this time too. I don't know if I want to do an 1/8 of an inch top stitch and then a 3/8 inch top stitch, or like a 1/8 of an inch, or maybe like a 1/4 inch and then a 1/2 inch. I might do a 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch seam allowances for my top stitching, because I don't really need it right on the edge. Ooh, hello. I swear, this machine is like a vacuum. Like, sometimes you put material in front of it and it just like sucks it in. Like, not down, it like sucks it into the needle. Because you have, for this one, you have 3 different things all pulling the material at once, which is why I bought this machine, because it has so many, like the foot itself, and then like the back part of it, and then also the feed dogs. You have a lot of things moving that material. But sometimes when you put something like, it's like you put it in front of it and just like sucks it in. Sucks it back. Not in, but back. All right. Isn't that pretty? Yes, it is. It's very pretty. Very pretty. Okay, what do I want to do with this? Now we're going to attach these. So I'm going to thread on my little triangle rings. Aren't those cute? So cute. So if you're like, man, I really want to be able to sew thick stuff. Like, maybe not as thick as this, but I really want to make some like heavy duty bags. But I can't get this giant machine, you know, because it takes up a lot of space. I'll be honest, I want to get a cylinder arm industrial machine, and that thing takes up a lot of space, and like I just said, this room is so cramped. If I got that industrial cylinder arm machine, it has to go in this space. I don't know where. This is where it would have to go. So if you're in that position where you're like, I really want to be able to sew thicker bags and, you know, work with thicker material and stuff, but I don't have space for it, check out the other Juki semi-industrial machines. I was down in Orlando in October teaching at an event, and Juki Junkie supplied the sewing machines for that. And I don't remember what machine it was. I'll write it down on the screen, but it was a Juki, and the semi-industrial Juki that I have is called the Juki 2010Q. This was like an upgraded version of that. I don't remember. I would never remember what the number is, but it's like an upgraded version of the 2010Q, and it was like sewing butter. I mean, I sat down for a moment just to help out a student, and I was trying to fix a little cut in her bag. And I just like plopped down, put it under the needle, didn't mess with anything, and it was just like sewing butter. So in my second class, we were making the picnic pouch, which is a clear vinyl bag that has some pretty thick layers. And I was like, I practiced that bag before class because I was like, all right, we're going to have some issues. We might have some needles breaking because depending on the material, it could be very difficult. And there was no issues. I couldn't believe it. I went in like ready to help with broken needles and skip stitches and all this stuff that I had experienced on my own machine. Not this one, obviously, but on my own domestic machine. Like, and we had none of those. It was just smooth sailing. So there were a few people in that class who it was their first time ever sewing with clear vinyl. And if you have worked with clear vinyl, you know it can be very challenging. And I feel like they're almost deceived. Like, if they don't have that machine at home and they're like, oh, sewing with clear vinyl and these super thick seams is no big deal. This is easy. It's like, it is not easy. So now I'm going to attach the bottom gusset by basting on the side of the exterior first. This is where we're going, kids. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so thick. Oh, I don't know about this. And not this step, but when we top stitch. I'm a little worried. I'm a little concerned. Oh, please don't break. Oh, please don't break. Please don't break. Are you holding your breath? I'm holding my breath. You don't have to cover your eyes. Always remember, if anything, if there's ever an injury or anything that occurs while I'm sewing, I will not show that on the channel. I've had people say that before, like, I'm so afraid you're gonna cut yourself with that, or you're gonna... Don't worry, if it does happen, this is why I don't sew live, but if it does ever happen, it will not be shown in the video. I'm not gonna do that to you guys. So you never have to worry about that. I might tell you about it afterwards, but I'm not gonna show it. Oof. Ay, 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 ay. I'm gonna do a set of 3/8 inch seam allowance. Yeah. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. I know. I know, Beastie. This is like, are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. This is what you do, man. This is your job. You shouldn't be so shocked that I'm throwing this at you, you know? I'm just worried I'm gonna hit that metal triangle ring. I don't think I am. Am I? No. I'm very close to it though. Probably shouldn't have done that. Third? Yeah, that's it. Woo! 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 Oh, you're gonna be so mad at me, Beastie. I gotta flip this out now. Oh, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What is that doing? What did you get stuck on? All right. Let's just do it, guys. Let's just do it. Beastie, I believe in you, okay? I believe in you. I do. I believe that you can make this happen. If anybody can make this happen, it's you, Beastie. So let's just do it. I'm getting to that point in the bag where like I'm like really anxious to get it done. Like I want to see it. Oh, you know what we should do? We should trim these corners actually. Because these corners are super bulky and we're gonna have to sew those in. So I just trimmed down the corners by 45 degrees because that's gonna have to be sewn into the gusset or into the front panel. This is the gusset. Like I said, I'm at that point of the bag where I'm like really anxious to get it done. I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm hungry, so I'm getting all shaky and stuff. But man, this looks so good. God, if it works out, I'm gonna be so happy. I do notice that sometimes it just kind of pauses, and if I just, like if I stop, doesn't want to keep going, especially on really thick areas. Like see, I'm pushing down, it's not going, but if I turn the wheel, push it down a little bit further, it'll work again. It's like it needs the momentum. Oh, that looks so good. Can you see that? Look at that. Look at them stitches. You are so pretty. You're so pretty. You're so pretty. Oof. Always make sure your D-ring, if you have any hardware over there, and the tabs here, make sure it's not pointing towards the side where your needle is, because then you will hit it. So I always have to double check and make sure it's pointing away from the needle. Okay. We got this. 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 This is the one. This is the step that got hung up a little bit last time. So maybe we'll see. Sometimes I notice too, like I'll encounter problems if I have like the exterior wrong side up, but if I have the lining wrong side up, I don't come across those problems. Why? I don't know. I get so nervous. I get so nervous by the hardware. Where's my... Okay, still good. Yeah, there's the 3. I like lose my place on my little marker tool here. I know that for those of you who have industrial machines and have been using them for a while, you're like, that's not that impressive. It is. If you're new to this, this is very impressive. It's very cool, you know? That's like, you know, I don't know. Every time I do an industrial video, somebody's like, I can do the exact same thing on my domestic machine. And I don't know. I think if you haven't tried the industrial machine, you're not quite sure like how much more power it really has than a domestic. Because I can do a lot on my Bernina, but I can't do this. Getting a little crowded in here. Let's move some space. Okay, so this is what I have right now. This is my Gusset. This is gonna be so thick. Oh, I'm so excited about this. So now I'm just gonna baste along the edges. And then I'm trying to grab my little mints to use as clips. At some point I will put a clip in my mouth because I just did that. At some point I will mistake my clips and my mints and I'll put a clip in my mouth. I'm gonna baste down the lining real quick. I'm trying to decide if I want to add a rivet on the sides or not. Because, like, I feel like it's good to add a rivet because it's extra reinforcement, but I feel like I don't want it there. Like, I really like how clean that is. I don't really want, like, a dot right there. I'm not gonna. How do you feel about that? I'm really glad I didn't do piping with this because it's so thick. These seams, the thing I'm testing today with my industrial machine is sewing a thick faux leather, a thick vinyl with foam in the seams. A lot of times when we do that, when we're gonna layer up all these things, we're gonna take the foam out of the seams before we sew it. And I'm not doing that. I'm keeping it in the seams. And this is something I've seen Amber over at the Crafty Reporter. If you wanna see somebody work quite literal magic on their industrial machine, make sure you go check out Amber at the Crafty Reporter. She's on Instagram. She's also on YouTube. She does tutorials. She's going to teach you how to do everything. She's who I learned how to do the piping from, and I'm going to do the piping eventually. But she's a wizard with her industrial machine. But I've seen her do this, I think with the Mila Monster. She left the foam in the seams, and it looks so good. So that's why I'm doing it. So the gusset's all good to go. Now we gotta prep our front and back panels. I'm gonna use the slip pocket on the front panel. I just got a glimpse of that bag tag. It looked good. So this is my front panel with the loser on it. Here is this. We're just gonna make sure that they are wrong sides together and make sure the top of your pocket is like on the top. Don't make it upside down. That would be sad. And I'm just gonna clip these together. And then the back panel with that gorgeous bag tag is going to have the lining with the zipper. So again, make sure they're wrong sides together and the top of the back is the top of the lining. You know what I wish? I wish that there was a way to just have the bobbin be attached to your spool of thread like your top one is. Like just have two spools of thread and you just feed one through underneath the machine and the other one through the top of the machine instead of having to like wind a bobbin. Why haven't we figured that out yet? Me. I have nothing to do with that. Why hasn't anybody else figured that out yet? Because I hate winding bobbins. Why isn't that a thing yet? Somebody take that great idea. You can have it. It's yours. Go with it. Become a billionaire. I just remember me. Okay, now we're just gonna baste these together. An 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Probably should have moved my microphone down here when I was. We're almost done. Next time I'll move the microphone somewhere closer to me. Maybe it's easier to hear me. Alright, now I'm going to baste the other one. And I had no problem with the clear vinyl before, so that is kind of shocking to me, like how easily this machine sews over the clear vinyl. Because I am so used to struggling with clear vinyl. Just going right over it. Alright, now the whole point of today's video to see how this all comes together. So I'm going to start with the front panel and I'm going to make sure you have everything marked. So all of your quarter marks on the top, bottom, half point, the midpoint marks on the top and bottom, the midpoint marks on the sides. Make sure those are all marked and we're going to just sew it together. Eek! So I'm going to use all those midpoint marks to clip these. exteriors, right sides together. So I know a lot of bag makers, especially when they're using really thick stuff like this, they like to use a stapler and staple these layers together. So you see how I'm building this? They like to staple that seam together. I don't. I don't do that. I have had experience with staples. I think I tried it once and I got hurt. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather just fight it. Okay. So here's what we have. Woo! Here's the inside of it. I'm going to do this at a 3/8 inch seam allowance, I think. Do I want to do it at a 3/8 inch seam allowance? I'm trying to see how thick my binding can be. Yeah, I'm going to do 3/8 of an inch. I like 3/8 of an inch because I feel like it's easier if I make a mistake. 1/4 inch seam allowance gets a little tricky. I might just go actually right between a 1/2 or a 1/4 and a 3/8 inch seam allowance. I'll pull in my scissors too. I don't know how to use those hematoma things, whatever it's called, hematoma, I don't know what the hell, I don't know how to use them. So instead I am going to use a very pokey stiletto, because I know how to use that. That's not that bad. Don't jinx it, Jessica. There are clips everywhere. Oh my gosh. This room is going to be such a mess. It already is such a mess, but it's going to be a pain to clean up. Does anybody else's arm start to hurt holding the bag? I have a lot of tension. Where are you? Where the heck did you come from? Gonna be good. I'm telling you, it's gonna be good. Oof. I think I am gonna clip a little bit into this. I just a bit. Oh dear. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right, let's turn it. Let's just take a peek. I always like to try to kind of turn out the corners a bit just to see how they look. Oh, yes. These look so good. How cool is that, right? Yes. Okay, I can't wait for it to be all done. Almost all done. Almost done. So now I'm going to add binding to this. And hopefully it'll wrap around it entirely. I'm using 1-inch wide binding. But with the foam, these seams are very, very thick. But I think it'll be okay. So I've just got this stuff here, and I'm just going to, I'm going to use these clips again. I don't think I need these things though. I'm just going to fold my binding in half. Long sides together, wrong sides together. Just to make that middle crease, and then I can just easily wrap it around the raw edge of my bag. It mostly covers it. It'd be nice if I had like 1 1/4 inch wide binding. That would be perfect. But this will be okay. I'm gonna trim down at the corners though, because those will be too wide. The binding barely covers where the seam is between the top and the bottom gusset. So yeah, if my binding was just 1/4 inch wider, that'd been perfect. I could have also just sewn this on at 1/4 inch seam allowance instead of a 3/8 inch seam allowance. All right, so here's what it looks like when all of the binding is clipped onto it. And then I like to actually top stitch it on at 1/4 inch seam allowance. I find that, especially with water resistant canvas binding, it does lay flat, so you don't have to worry about it not really covering those stitches from when you attached everything together. If you prefer, you can do it at a 3/8 inch seam allowance, but I find 1/4 inch is good for me. Kind of lost control there on that corner, so I'm going to go back over that when I'm done putting the rest of the binding on here. So the big thing is first making sure you caught everything. And honestly, even that corner that I screwed up, it still caught it all, but I'll show you. Do you see here? Can you see how I just lost control for a moment, that's all. Honestly, I could leave it. I'm gonna leave it because that's a top corner and that's not gonna be noticeable once the bag is flipped out. It's not gonna be noticeable at all. So I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, so now I'm gonna open up my zipper and attach the back panel. So back panel and back gusset, back edge of the gusset, exterior right sides together. And line up the 4 midpoint marks first and then clip everything. Ooh, my arms are hurting. So right now I'm just like pre-clipping into these corners, only on the gusset side by about 1/4 inch seam allowance or 1/8 inch. If you're using 1/4 inch seam allowance to sew it, then you don't want to cut it at 1/4 inch seam allowance. Here we go. Make sure the zipper on top is open, and then we're gonna just sew this on. And this is much harder because you have to push this giant bag. Oh my gosh, my arms are gonna be so sore. Actually do less than 3/8 inches. feel like this is where a cylinder arm could be really helpful instead of a flat table like this. Looking really good. All right, now I'm just gonna go around, and anytime I have like a edge that's just really uneven, I'm gonna trim it up a bit so it's easier to wrap the binding around this, since I am limited on my binding width anyways. And just like I did before, I'm gonna grab my binding and I'm gonna fold it in half so I can wrap it around the raw edges of this bag. Alrighty, here we go. Can you guys see? I mean, this is cool, huh? You'll notice sometimes there are patterns where they have the like binding on the outside of the bag instead of on the inside. Like this is obviously, whoop, this is the binding on the inside of the bag. But oh my gosh, I keep hitting this thing. But that's why they'll have like the binding on the outside, because it looks cool. Okay, I gotta be honest. My battery just died in my camera, so I'm not gonna show this last step. I'll let you know if it doesn't work out though. I'll let you know if it does work out too. I don't feel like going to get a new battery for it right now. I don't know if do you guys want to try to look at this way? Here, how's that? You guys can try to watch it that way. A whole new perspective. There you go. We are done. I'm so excited. I'm gonna make the strap off camera because I still haven't decided what kind of strap I want to make yet. So I'm not gonna make a strap right now. And I'm gonna carefully turn this out. But I'm very excited and also very hungry. I'm just telling you, I am so excited now that I like figured out my machine. Again, it took me years. Like, if you've been watching, I've worked with this machine multiple times, and I've almost always had an issue that I could not figure out. And I can't tell you that it's like one thing or the other. I think a big problem was I wasn't using the right needle with the right thread, and that was really just jamming things up. And it seems like such a small thing, and I know someone's gonna be like, that can't possibly have caused all those problems, but those small things, they do cause big problems. You have to be using the right thing. So like I said, I'm using a text. My thread I'm using is from Emporium Threads. I love it. I'll link it down below. It is great, 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 great thread. And then my needle size is size 19 for these big industrial machines. So it's not the same type of needle you would put in a domestic machine. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about this bag. I'm just like waiting to see, like, did I like install a panel upside down or something? It's like too good to be true. I used up all my good luck. Used up all my good luck for the month on this bag. I'm telling you, I did. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love you. I just love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. So a lot of times with bound edges, you need to kind of roll them out a bit. But once you do, look at the back. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. Look at you, sweet, sweet baby. You sweet, sweet. Look how stinking cute that is. Look at the side. And it feels so cool. And this is such a cool accent on the back. This might be like the most professional looking bag I've ever made. Holy guacamole. This is a bag, honestly, you don't believe it's been made. You don't believe it's handmade. You believe that this is something like a really nice bag that you purchased. You did so good today, Beastie. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. We're gonna make so much magic together. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you leave a comment down below. I really enjoy doing this. I'm gonna be playing on this machine regardless if I film it or not, but I figured, hey, if I'm messing around and hanging out and playing on it, might as well turn the camera on. So if you guys like it, I'll do more videos like that. And if not, well, if I had fun doing this, then I might still do more videos like it. But I do hope you guys like it. And I hope you guys, if you're interested in any type of machine like this, like I said, contact Juki Junkies. And if you're looking for a semi-industrial, contact Juki Junkies. Hope you guys are having a great day. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Get out there and make something. Bye, guys. Or when you read something, you're like, what? Seriously? And I'm like, what? And you're like, oh, really? And then, I'm like, what? And you're like, oh. I don't know what you see. Are you gonna go out the door? I'm waiting for you to pick a direction.
Make sure I didn't even grab anything. I'm gonna come back in. Hold on, let me just dig it one more time. Love you.
Love you.